ladies and gentlemen. 11-point win for the New York Knicks. Yeah, the most pleasing thing tonight was just getting back to getting stops, playing tough. You could tell they were switched on. I had worries it was a back-to-back, performance. You never know with back-to-backs and how people are going to come out. But the 9-man rotation, that was the story for tonight, right? Derrick Rose not playing. Obviously, the back-to-back situation, Tom Thibodeau talked about the fact that, it was just a rest day basically for D Rose, but I'm not sure, moving forward. Clearly, Derrick Rose's role has been reduced, but Cam Reddish not getting in was another huge story with that situation, right? Deuce McBride and Emmanuel quickly, the first guards off the bench, gave the Knicks a huge spark, a really, really big spark, and we needed that, tonight. So Tom Thibodeau pulled the right buttons for tonight. And of course, it's a make or miss league. The CAVS couldn't hit the backside of a barn, couldn't throw the ball in the ocean as well. So what a difference that makes at MSG. But the Knicks held it down. Jalen Brunson was clutch again down the stretch. Julius Randle. The ball moved tonight. And Derrick, we could put this spider talk in the rear view mirror for now. We got that Garden performance out of the way, and the story is the New York Knicks tonight, not the Cleveland Cavaliers, not Donovan Mitchell. The New York Knicks were the story tonight, right? That's the main thing. So really, really pleasing win performance tonight at the Garden. I mean, we deserve this, Knicks Nation, to have a gritty performance like this at MSG, right? For once, team doesn't come in, light it up, punk us, have a career high, all of that stuff. And, I think the feeling from that bad loss in Cleveland was also in the back of their minds, not wanting Kevin Love to come in and, light things up from that perspective as well. So, that was really, really key. Pride, you know what I mean? Prideful performance, tonight. Salute Sharp Powers, Will, Big Task, Admiral, Buzzer Beater. Salute Prometheus, up in here, the best chat in the biz. Give us your standouts from tonight. What stood out to you? Like I said, it was the shortened rotation. The fact that we always talked about, this roster has different strengths, right? So Deuce McBride, Quentin Grimes getting the most minutes out of anyone was the most pleasing thing. And finally, Thibs turning to a young dude like Deuce, who can help us resolve some of our defensive issues. That's what we've been wanting, Knicks fans, Knicks Nation. Use this roster to the best of its ability. We talked about Big 15 in the preseason and all of that. We finally got a healthy Quentin Grimes, and we finally got a young guy like Deuce McBride who buckles down, pulls his shorts up, and isn't afraid to play solid defense, and get into it. Get gritty, get tough, get into people's skin, all of that. And of course, we executed better. That's what it came down to as well, right? CAVS had poor execution today. 81 points. This is definitely probably going to be the Knicks' lowest opponent score for the season. And let's hope we hold some teams even lower than that. That'd be really, really impressive. With that situation, it would be really impressive. But protecting home court, it don't get no lower than the Dallas loss. We were all chopping that up and reeling from that bad performance, blowing away that lead, right? I didn't get really nervous today. I must admit, I wasn't too worried. It just felt like the Knicks were going to pull this one out. It just did. Yeah, they got it back to, I think, 5. They got it back to 6. Late in the fourth, they were rallying as well. The Cavs didn't show any quit. But, of course, the New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson and co. weren't going to let this one slip. Pride was on the line tonight, Embarrassment after the Dallas loss. It was about pride tonight when the New York Knicks bounced back and protected home court. 11 points, feel-good win against a really, really good team. Ladies and gentlemen, like the Cleveland Cavaliers are legit. So, yep, Shah Powers, team defense tonight, right? Absolute fact, Shah. Salute. Yep. Playing for one another. They were sharp on the rotations, which was clean. Switching was really nice. We were fleet of foot tonight. We just had an extra bounce in our step. It looked like we was getting out on the closeouts as well. There was some suspect calls, which we'll talk about. But yeah, for the most part tonight, we won the 50-50 battles. Mitch on the glass was insane. Down low, keeping Mobley off the block. Kevin Love, promoted him to just being a jump shooter tonight. Team win overall, tonight. And they answered the bell, answered some critics, which was the key situation for tonight. Yep. Once again, Shah says Thibs shake things up with the 9-man rotation. Yep. Using this roster to what's available to him, Dudes that are hungry. Deuce McBride was hungry, didn't score tonight, but he's like I said, his defense is just it changes the pace of the game. Yeah, and I tell you what, chat, Nick Streets, when the Knicks are closing out the 3-point shots well, and we are protecting the rim in the paint, this is what our defense looked like 2 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. It's very, very possible. Like Juan says, Thibs definitely coaching for his job at the moment. Tonight's win, no doubt about it, does quiet the noise a little, does quiet things down. But what was most pleasing was the fact that he wasn't scared to use the weapons that he had. Quentin Grimes topped the minutes, and Deuce McBride as well, playing gritty D. Emmanuel Quickly, shouts out to him. He was absolutely money tonight, was Emmanuel. He was making snappy decisions. I really liked Emmanuel's shot selection tonight. He was getting to the cup. He wasn't hesitating, laying it up, scoop layup. He was keeping his dribble alive too, navigating the screens, in traffic, getting into the paint. Emmanuel Quickly was a handful right tonight. They had no answer for him as well. So that's just great to see Emmanuel continue this great form. Ever since his name was brought up in trade talks, Emmanuel Quickly's just been really consistent. Fam. Yeah, really consistent. So yeah, the pleasing thing tonight is just the youth as well. With Quickly, Deuce, Grimes off the bench, really happy with that situation. Mitchell Robinson as well, very impressive performance again tonight. Disruptive. Even Isaiah Hartenstein was rebounding, was trying his best, to keep their big men off the block as well, and it was working. Yep. With that, yep. We'll talk about Jalen Brunson's quotes as well. I don't think this team's given up on Thibs. I feel like pride's at stake still. These NBA ballers, they play for each other as well. With this situation, nobody wants to keep losing at MSG. Nobody wants to keep losing in front of their home fans. They heard boos the other night against Dallas, and that was just an embarrassing loss that garnered a lot of talk and reports around the league and stuff. So, it's just amazing how this team is up and they're down. Cleveland are a much better team than Dallas, right? Much better team, right? So we embarrassed ourselves against Dallas, but then tonight we pushed the right buttons, right? Tom Thibodeau pushed the right buttons tonight, right? He called for reinforcements, for defensive help, and we absolutely squashed them, locked them down straight. Man, 81 points. That's enjoyable to see, right? Finally, the other team didn't go off on us, ladies and gentlemen, right? Right, that was beautiful. Finally, they didn't go off on us with that. So, really enjoyed watching this performance tonight. Even though it wasn't high scoring, for once it was like pulling your socks up, your shorts up, and just buckling down on the other side, and we made it tough. They didn't shoot well, but that was a lot to do with us. We were there in the closeouts. Even that foul on Quentin Grimes, when he contested Donovan, and he got called for the foul. I think that was not really a foul. That was unlucky. He closed out on Mitchell perfectly. Yeah, Mitchell kicked his leg forward and then fell on his foot. I think, but that was just an indication of tonight how we were ready to close out. We made great rotations, and we made it difficult for them. You could tell Spider was really wanting to have a great performance tonight. He was forcing it, and he couldn't get into any kind of rhythm. Well, that was passing the ball around was Cleveland, but we was there. We were in their shorts. Making great rotations. Making it tough on them. Deflections, interceptions, and ladies and gentlemen, what about the travel calls tonight? It was a comedy show because of how good the defense was. I think we was making dudes think rather than react. Like Clyde was saying, dudes was overthinking it, right? And then there was 12, 13 travel calls, a season high record for this season. Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. Not the highest spectacle, that's for sure, but for defensive aficionados had to enjoy tonight because holding a modern shooting offensive squad to 81 points is a great result. Yep, salute to them. In terms of what Juan's saying, I miss Sims. Wish Sims could get some burn though. I think Sims will. I think they're bringing him along, fam. I really do feel he's deserving of minutes. I agree with you. And Knicks Nation, a lot of us want to see Sims get more burn. It's a bit of optics together with Hartenstein was playing all right tonight. He was rebounding. Hartenstein was doing okay offensively, defensively. But yeah, Sims is going to get his shine. Yep. JJ in the house, salute. Yeah, Grimes and Deuce, absolute difference makers, fam. They didn't hit shots, but their D was vital. Right, yep. That's exactly what Tom keeps saying. If your shot ain't falling, what are you doing to affect winning? And they were doing it tonight, right? They was doing it, right? That's one thing Deuce McBride does always give you, even when the shot ain't fallen. He's consistently solid on defense. Right? How many times do you see Deuce McBride have his colors lowered, for end of the game situation, right? He's always there, always, in a defensive stance, picking dudes up, trying, giving max effort. I really, really respect that, right? Yeah, Pudge, the crowd was definitely watching Thibs' every mood tonight, right? Did we see a bit of emotion, frustration from Thibs tonight, getting called for the tee? Got teed up late in the piece. That could have been a real costly situation with Thibs getting that tee. We was only up 6, reduced it to 5, but he was showing emotion like a coach under fire with that. 9-man rotation. I don't expect to see this moving forward regularly. I just think what happens when a coach is under max pressure, you see him start to try to take a few risks, take a few moves that you don't expect, right? He called on Deuce McBride's number and Deuce delivered tonight. Yet Grimes out there as well. Yep. JJ says holding Garland and Spider combined 13 for 41. That's real impressive. Yep. Absolutely. Really impressive. And I just hope we see more of that, This team's consistently inconsistent with effort. But how do you combat that? You play guys that you can trust on the defensive side that give you effort. And we've been saying on this show, the chat been spitting as well, that our offense ain't the issue, right? 110, 120, 113, those scores are enough to win your ball games, ladies and gentlemen. recently, what the Knicks have been lacking is defense. Right. Like I said, get back to that 2020 season, fourth seed, right? We had Alfred Payton, Reggie Bullock starting, ladies and gentlemen, yet we were still winning by holding teams to 90 points. So tonight was kind of a throwback, a salute to that. That reminded me of those kind of games, those kind of performances, really. And yes, like Dirty Dancer also spits, Cleveland was absolutely terrible too. But I give our fellas credit too for making them uncomfortable as well. Yep. We made them uncomfortable, and that's all you got to do in this NBA, right? Just don't let shooters get comfortable. Don't let them spot up. Don't let them get a clean look. If you have to get in their little one, pocket, to make it uncomfortable for them and pick up a foul, early, to so be it. But yeah, we heard talk at their struggles on the wing. Isaac Okoro couldn't score anything tonight. Karis LeVert couldn't get in no groove either. And Deuce McBride Grimes was picking up Garland and Spider full court as well, making it tough on them. So yeah, the Knicks have got weapons. Let's start using them, to the best of our ability. The Cam Reddish situation is going to be fascinating moving forward. He had made a name for himself this season. Cam, picking dudes up, playing defense, all of that. Is Cam Reddish in trade talks? It's reasonable, very reasonable to assume. We had the report today that the Dallas Mavericks have inquired or have interest in D Rose as well. Now, Cam Reddish is going to be a dude that I really think other teams are going to be watching as well. So Cam Reddish couldn't get on right tonight. Yeah, in this 90s kind of game. And also, we got to be real about the situation too. Cavs were with no Jared Allen, like JJ says, was a big loss for them on the glass. Yep. So yeah, our fellas stepped up. Yeah, Mitch Hartenstein handled their business on the glass. And like Manchild says, it was a 90s type grinded out win with this situation, right? Popping. Appreciate everyone out here. It's great relaxing, chilling out with everyone after a big win. And, especially when the young fellas contribute to a big performance like this. Let's see. Let's look at the road ahead. Let's give out some grades. And you already know what it is, right? I'm reading out the comments from the YouTube just because I'm having some tech difficulties bringing them up on the screen. That's why you're not seeing any of the comments on the screen at the moment. But I'm going to keep reading everything out. So keep it coming. Keep giving us your thoughts with this situation. We're getting into the thick of this season, ladies and gentlemen. The trade talk and buzz is going to grow. Pressure not just on the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau, but other franchises as well. It ain't just about the Knicks. There's pressure on a lot of teams right now. And my thoughts are the Knicks definitely have some spare parts that we need to shed. Right, Leon Rose has been active before trade deadlines every year since he's been here. The D Rose trade early before the trade deadline. There was Cam Reddish before that trade deadline. So let's keep our eye out on that. Yep. Yeah, Flacco, I agree with you with that. I was thinking the same thing. Cam Reddish with D Rose would be a nice pairing for the Dallas Mavericks. Yep. Yep. Cam Pudge says headed to the Lakers. That. Yeah. Yeah, there is a situation where Cam, if the Knicks can get something for him, I'm willing to listen. We can't get caught out with some of these assets and have nothing for them. That's going to be super tough with that situation. So let's really keep our eye on that. And like Pudge says, yeah, clutch Clutch Sports are a key figure in this situation, wanting their client, with a larger role, right? DNP tonight was Cam. That was interesting. He's not in a situation where he's injured by any report, so he wasn't on the injury report as well. So you have to think, Leon's in discussions, ladies and gentlemen. I can't really come to no other conclusion. And definitely Cam's camp wants him in a bigger role, He was starting, he was feeling good. Cam Reddish, Quentin Grimes came back, and he's taken the spot. So much deserved, though. Quentin Grimes will give out his grade. We'll chop him up. But yeah, consistency. The shot ain't fallen, but defensively, he's been really solid. The playmaking, too. Quentin Grimes' playmaking is super impressive for me, ladies and gents. It's just great to see a young player flesh out the rest of his game. Not just be a jump shooter, not just defend, but do everything: play, make, shoot, and defend as well. We've found our starting two guard from what I've seen so far as well. He's my starting two guard to stay. Is Quentin Grimes. I'm a fan of Cam coming off the bench. If he sticks around, I'm not going to be mad at that. I'm not going to be mad at Cam Reddish sticking around. But truth is, if other teams are calling, then you've got to listen. You've got to listen and see what's out there, We could continue to stack up these picks, especially with that situation, right? Like Pudge says, bring back some picks for Cam. And, the league's kind of like musical chairs as well. You can't just have a guy situational or, 15 minutes off the bench. Sometimes if he wants a bigger role, if there is another team around the league that wants a bigger role for Cam, then let him go. Let him go there, Get something for him. Yep. We got pieces as well. Like you said, Deuce McBride came in tonight. He's shown that he can really, really contribute. Dirty says, personally, I don't want to do nothing to help Dallas. Yep. When we own their pick. It's very interesting. Yeah. Derrick Rose, I don't know if he would want to go to Dallas anyway. And we've got to be careful also, because the Dallas report was that the Dallas Mavericks are interested in Rose. So there was nothing on the side of whether we're interested in moving Derrick Rose or giving him to Dallas at all. It was just a leaked report that they're interested. Salute Cash Out. Salute Chat. Replay Gang. Streets are buzzing after a big win at MSG. Always feels good on the weekend. Pop that like button, and we'll continue to chop this thing up. But yeah, I think Derrick Rose is probably going to more likely want to go to a contender, I think, in his years where he's at in the league right now. Yep. Cash Out says, once Deuce gets consistent minutes, his shot going to start falling too. Great take, fam. I think rhythm, minutes, consistency is everything. Yeah, for that. Also, let's not leave out the fact that they sent Deuce down to the G League. Was it 3 days ago? They sent him down for some reps. That's good. That's good developing. New York Knicks. That was one of the things I was frustrated with when we had Kevin Knox. Right, there was huge stretches where Knox was DNPing, or he was playing like 9 minutes and never playing in the G League. Right. So the Knicks are finally using the G League now, and it's proving like a great move, getting Deuce up here, getting confident, getting his reps in, all of that good stuff, right? The Public Enemy, salute. Cam, Rose, and Fournier look like the most expendable. I agree right now. The most likely to be expended right now. We're probably not going to hear reports of who's interested in Fournier. The contract situation is a bit more difficult, to move with 1 more year left. Me personally, I'm okay keeping Fournier till next year because, like I said to EJ, his $19 million is expiring next season. suddenly a bad contract at the moment is going to turn into a weapon next year. It's going to be a weapon, and he's happy riding the bench. That's all good as well. We don't need to attach an asset to get rid of Fournier unless it's part of a huger deal, to make the money work, I think. But Cam's salary and Rose expiring, they're very easy to move right now. And they're pieces that could help teams around the league right now that can contribute to other teams, I really feel like. So Leon Rose's phone is going to be running hot with some of these guys. Yeah, Flacco, we got the Obi Randle situation to work out as well. Yeah, it's tough right now. I feel you. Talk about such a good, well-behaved kind of guy. Obi just plays his role. You don't hear nothing. He's a team-first guy. But at what point is him and his camp going to start to think like, okay, what's next for me? What's happening? Maybe the front office, the GM, are talking to him in conversation. So hopefully, there's something to come soon with that. Deuce too good for the G League, not good enough for the real league. Dirty Dancer says. I think he certainly needs the consistency in the real league. I think the best way he could do that, Dirty, is to get reps. Deuce just needs to be a permanent fixture, even if it's 8-9 minutes. Change the pace of the game. Stop a shooter from getting hot, kind of thing. Make it uncomfortable. And that's what this league is all about, right? You don't need lockdown defenders, really. No one really in the league is a lockdown defender as well. I know the chat said before, but I agree. You just need to make the other player uncomfortable, right? Just make them uncomfortable. That's it. Contest the shot. Have your hand up. Get into their face. Close out. All of that good stuff, right? Just defensive principles. That's what Deuce is doing right now as well, which is great. Really, really helpful tonight. Yeah, Mitch was absolutely disruptive. Yep, absolute beast tonight. We'll look at the road ahead coming up. Yeah, I agree with Pudge. Deuce has a high ceiling defensively. He's a good guy to have on our team. Right, remember, he's super young still. Tough-minded, was a footballer as well, a quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. Deuce McBride's used to getting rough and rugged. He's a rough rider. I've been saying too, this Knicks team don't need finesse. They need toughness. Yeah, that's what we've been lacking. And that's why we're seeing teams come in, Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant, Josh Giddey, SGA, the list goes on and on. That's why we've seen these guys come to the MSG and light it up, right? We could do with some more toughness. Yeah. Now, in terms of the shot, Deuce, offense ain't Deuce's calling card, really. Normally what got you in the league too is what's going to keep you in the league. So Deuce can't forget what his origins is, what his roots are. Deuce never came in as no playmaker or shooter as well. He was drafted to play D. Like Trini says, we need dogs up in here as well. Yep. We need dogs that fight over screens. That's the main thing. What Deuce will do, fam. Yep. Also, he's got a huge wingspan. Deuce McBride. He can be disruptive, passing lanes as well. And I love the fact that he fights over the screens as well. That's what you need, pride as well. Not to mention it was a back-to-back. So you got to use your roster to your advantage. 82 games. Let's get it. Full guys, stay ready. So you don't have to get ready. I mean, Deuce McBride been up and down, back and forth from the G League to the big team over his 3 years, more than people can remember. He's just stayed with it. He stayed ready. I salute him. I salute Deuce. So yeah, to recap, it was a throwback tonight, right? Low scoring, grinded out affair. But the story is we made it uncomfortable for Cleveland tonight, right? What was once a team that was raining threes on us, it was a different story tonight, the complete opposite. Well, they couldn't throw the ball into the ocean as well. So we take it, great win, we move forward. Now let's look at the box score. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I like the minutes distribution from this situation because we all know of the back-to-back. Tom Thibodeau under pressure, injected some youth, and it paid off right tonight. So yeah, getting into this box score, right? The only dude that played big minutes was Quentin Grimes, 40 tonight. So great sign moving forward for the New York Knicks, right? That's a huge sign for us that he's healthy. He's getting into a huge groove now. Now the shot ain't fallen for Quentin Grimes, but I'll start with him. In 40 minutes, was 2 of 8, 6 rebounds, 3 offensive. That was great. 4 turnovers. Okay, you're going to get that with 40 minutes, but 2 steals, plus 2, 4 points. Quentin Grimes again just made it uncomfortable for the other team. I'll give him a B. I'll give Quentin Grimes that B just because he was making it uncomfortable out there. For that, Dripmore, salute. What's good? And Drizzy, salute. Queen's Place, salute. Love his defense though. Yep, I agree. Yep, facts. Yet Tariq, it's never nerves for Deuce as well. Yep, he's a gamer too. Yep, you don't get to be no quarterback on a football team without that calmness as well, that composure as well. Yep. Yet we need those kind of guys that buckle down, right? And we all know there's losses and there's bad losses. If the Knicks lose by a few points, play solid D, that's development with these young players. I could handle that. But what's irritated me this season was other players and role players going off on us. We hate to see that. Yeah, we hate to see that. And yes, Tariq, the G League NBA is not the same. Absolutely not. Yep. But it's reps. To me, I look at the G League as reps. I don't really look at it like this guy, lit it up 40 points in the G League. I more look at it like it's solid reps. Opportunities to try different things. Like a Deuce McBride can get up shots in the G League, whereas he can't. He can only get up so many shots on the Knicks offense, and also he could try a few different things. Be more of a willing playmaker. Be that number one ball handler on a G League team. On the Knicks, he can't be that number one ball handler. So when dudes like Deuce is in the G League, I look at other things other than how well, how much he scored and stuff like that. Yeah. Man shot, I was glad to see RJ on the bench for a minute. Yeah, he was struggling tonight. We'll give out RJ's grade. But and Drizzy also says, was Cam injured or did Thibs lock him out? I think Cam's in talks right now. We're getting to that time, ladies and gentlemen. December 4 right now. We're getting into the thick of it. Well, we need a shake-up, a mini shake-up. Yeah. Dirty says Deuce would be a max player in the G League. Yeah, he'd be G League Hall of Fame. Yeah, if he played regularly. Deuce got great talent, man. He had a 16-16 game, I think. Wasn't it last season? So yeah, Quentin Grimes gets a B tonight. It wasn't about the offense. It was just his impact on winning. +2. Yep. If you play 40 minutes and you're a +2, then that's impacting winning, fam. So let's look at RJ Barrett tonight. 31 minutes, right? 5 of 13, inefficient again. 2 of 7 from 3. hit 4 free throws, 3 or 4. Rebounded nice, 8 rebounds. But the 6 turnovers just kills it. RJ Barrett, you could just tell he's thinking out there. That's what I put it down to with RJ right now. He's thinking too much. Was more solid defensively though, was RJ, +7, 15 points, just 2 fouls as well. So I'll give Bully Barrett, I'll give him a C tonight. RJ Barrett gets a C for me tonight. What I just said, right? I want to see him focus on defense and playmaking with Barrett, right? The shot's clearly not fallen, but what else can you do to impact your team and help win, right? Don't drop your head, even if the shot's not fallen. Just grind it out, RJ. Grind it out. I've been on his case about assists, right? It's pathetic, right? 31 minutes, 1 assist. That's pathetic. I'm sorry. I'm calling that out because you're a 6'7", built like a truck, wing, shooting guard, small forward, 6'7", and you get 1 assist. That's not good enough. I'm sorry, you need to help make your teammates better with that situation. Yeah, Trini, the threes are killing RJ right now too. 7 threes. I'm sorry, he shouldn't be shooting those kind of shots at the moment. I'm okay with him shooting the catch and shoots and the open ones, but yeah, 7 threes is crazy when the shot ain't fallen. Yeah. Yeah, dirty. I'll call that out too. Yeah, Grimes getting 1 in 40 minutes. Yeah, should be called out as well. Yeah, let me peep that. 1 assist for Grimes. Yep. That's actually surprising. Yeah, it just didn't feel that way throughout the flow of the game because Grimes does make a few nice drop pass when he gets to the cup and he has that less tunnel vision. But yeah, he definitely should have got more than 1 assist as well. Yeah, that's why Grimes just got a B tonight. But yeah, Barrett a C. But better defensively was RJ. The effort was there, +7 as well. So yeah, this crazy season for Barrett continues. I'm just not convinced continuing to shoot like that is going to help him burst out of anything, right? He needs to take smarter shots and be more willing to move the rock right now. Best believe when he gets close to the cup, somebody's open. Barrett just needs to find them. Have the defense scrambling. I think that's what the other teams do really well against the New York Knicks. They get us scrambling, moving around, all of that. What we normally do is make it easy for the defense because we barrel. RJ or Randle will barrel into 3 men in the paint, right? Rather than keep kicking it around, and get the defense scrambling till we get that open shot as well. So it was a team 17 assists tonight. I mean, I know we didn't score much, but that's pretty poor. 17 assists. Right. Now let's look at JB. Again, I'm loving the fact that Brunson's minutes, 32 minutes as well. That's been one of the more pleasing things for Tom Thibodeau for me this season as well. Trusting the bench a bit more. Brunson was money. 7 of 16, 2 of 4 from 3, 7 of 8 from the line. Just 2 rebounds, but 4 assists from Brunson. Salute. 1 block, +3, 23 points. Jalen Brunson helped us will this victory out. So salute to JB again. Big time performance from JB. Yeah, big time. Yep. I could flirt between an A- or B+ for Brunson. I've been very kind to Brunson with the A's, so I got to hold him to his standard, to his level of standard. But yeah, 4 assists, 23 points with a block, and in just 32 minutes as well. So I'll stick with the B+ for Brunson. Actually, if Grimes does get a B, then I've got to be fair, give Brunson an A-. Yeah, I'll upgrade that to an A- for JB. Yeah, because it's got to be comparable to what Grimes did for us tonight. Well, and the biggest thing for JB is the toughness as well. Fam, we talk about this team's need for defense and toughness, but JB is that guy that could play in 90s, 80s, in all different eras as well. Throws his body around. He gets charges as well. He gets hit in the face. Karis LeVert gave him one for the road that he was complaining about. I mean, they're all over JB like a cheap suit sometimes, man. And I know Barrett too. Barrett does have a legit gripe at times. He gets clobbered. And JB did get clobbered as well, man. As well. Yeah. He could have had a lot more assists too. Yeah, Trini. He could have a little more assists, but a good game. Yeah, 4 assists. Yeah. I also look at the minutes. 32 minutes as well. Ain't as high as what it usually is as well. Also, I look at the role JB plays. He's tasked to be that pseudo shooting guard for us. Let's keep it a buck. We need Jalen Brunson's offense, so he is our starting point guard, but he's performing a shooting guard role for us as well. Because Quentin Grimes and RJ Barrett, they're not giving us starting shooting guard production, on offense as well. So Brunson's got to look for his shot. But great point as well, what I made too, in terms of being willing to kick it out. This team needs to move the ball like hot potato. Dudes get into the paint, they get tunnel vision, and we do get blocked a lot at the hoop, ladies and gentlemen, right? We barrel into traffic, and we do tend to get blocked a lot, get our shots blocked as well. Yep. And to Andrizzi's point, Brunson has been the most consistent player on this team by far as well. So even if he has a few bad performances, he gets a pass because, again, there's so much resting on his shoulders. Really, you could tell he looked really down. That loss to Dallas really hurt JB. In the press conference, he said some stuff. He said, I've made my decision. I'm living with it. So, that hurt him. But he definitely laid it all out there as well. So A- for JB. Now, the block nest monster, Mitch Robb, in 34 minutes, was an impactful player tonight, right? 11 boards, 1 of 2 from the line, 2 of 2 from the field, 3 offensive boards, 3 steals, 1 block, just 1 turnover. Was a -7 plus 5 points. So off night offensively, I mean, for Mitch, didn't get many shots really. 2 shots, 2 free throws, but was very, very impactful. 3 steals, 11 rebounds. Those second chance points really helped the Knicks close out the game. Mitch tonight was a beast, right? He owned the glass, helped us out in 34 minutes as well. One of the best offensive rebounders in the game. Make no mistake, right? You love the 3 steals as well, getting active. So I'll give Mitch a B+ for tonight. B+, really. He owned his role, right? I know it must be tough for Mitch because he wants more shots than that. If you look at it, 2 shots and 1 trip to the foul line, two foul shots as well in 34 minutes. So he's playing his role on offense and trying to fit in. But yeah, he wants more shots, does Mitch, but B+ with that situation, right? Dirty gives Brunson a B- as well. Yep, you hold him to a higher standard. I could understand that. Yep, team's best player, right? But yeah, with Brunson, I mean, most of the time, if you look at every single win the Knicks have had this season, Brunson's been a standout. But today was no different. But you're happy for Mitch tonight. The impact he made was huge, for the Knicks. So yeah, B+ for Mitch. Now Jay Randle, 35 minutes, was 7 of 19, shot 1 of 7 from 3, hit both 3 of his all 3 free throws, was 9 rebounds, 1 offensive, 4 assists, 1 turnover only, 18 points as well. So I like Randle's decision making tonight. That's what I'll highlight. No 1 turnover in 35 minutes is a big win for Julius. Not turning the ball over, 4 assists as well. So he moved the rock as well. Equal team high assists, 4, right? Equaled Brunson. So that's what you need from Randle, right? If there's usage there, he needs to be willing to move it if the shot ain't there as well. Tonight he did that. 4 assists, salute. 1 turnover only, salute. I kind of don't like the shot selection as well at times. 1 of 7 from 3. That's a little bit too many 3-point attempts for me. But wasn't as efficient. But 18 points was just solid tonight. Randle, I'll give him a solid B. Give Randle a solid B tonight for his role and what we need from Randle, right? He moved the rock tonight. Yep. Let's go. Chat absolutely buzzing up in here after this win, right? There's still some big news coming. I feel like it. I feel like there's going to be moves as well. But for now, the noise is quieting down a bit. The Knicks just got to play tough like this. Yep. The Knicks just got to play tough like they did tonight, right? Have some pride, ladies and gents. That's what we need, right? What was the most pleasing thing was the reliance on our young fellas, really. Even when RJ Barrett ain't giving us big contributions, it's a lot of other players like Mitch, Grimes, Deuce tonight. And the Cam Reddish situation is absolutely fascinating. But I'm thinking that he's definitely in a situation, we're in a holding pattern with Cam. Well, I think with talks heating up, I think we're in a holding pattern with Cam. I think the D Rose thing could certainly be the same thing, but D Rose could also be what Thibs said, the fact that it was a second leg of a back-to-back. But being real, Derrick Rose's role hasn't really been big this year anyway. He might have only played 10 to 15 minutes, anyway tonight. So that was the starters. Now let's dig into the bench, right? And I want to start with IQ as well. Coming off the bench, IQ was big tonight. 24 minutes, 6 of 8, 5 boards, 1 offensive, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, was a +13 though. +13. Very impactful, 12 points, but very efficient as well. There's nothing better than seeing an efficient IQ playing to his strengths, right? He was comfortable tonight, was IQ. He was getting the banker off the glass. He was keeping his dribble alive, like I said. 2 assists. I mean, he's out there to score as well, but 24 minutes. I like to see IQ still move the rock. But maybe some teammates also missed some shots too. So IQ performed his role tonight. +13 was one of the team highs as well. Hartenstein was the highest tonight, +16. But proud of IQ's game tonight. He hasn't let this the trade talk, affect him in any way as IQ. I think he's started to play better since the rumors came out that teams are calling the Knicks for IQ. His play's gotten better and better as well. And I salute him for the rebounding as well. one of the best rebounding guards on this team at 6'3", pulled in 5 boards again in 24 minutes. So that's a salute. So what are you guys seeing from IQ with that? Yeah, with that situation, yeah, we got IQ starting to feel good about himself. I really feel like he's probably not going to get traded. If I had to guess, I think IQ is going to stick around. But teams are calling, ladies and gentlemen. Teams are calling the New York Knicks, for IQ. Yeah, with that situation as well. Yeah, you guys already know what it is. Keep it buzzing as well. Keep it clean in the chat. Keep it buzzing. Keep it clean. Everyone got their takes. But yeah, I'm really pleased with IQ's performance tonight. 24 minutes, and again, the story of the season has been Derrick Rose's role massively reduced, and IQ's role elevated as well, which has been absolutely huge for the New York Knicks. Development, really. It ain't about the wins and losses. It's about developing. With that, IQ's developing. Definitely improved as a defender. Tonight I saw improvement with his dribble. He was keeping his dribble alive. I really like that. His shot selection was great too. I felt like every shot Quick took was in his pocket, in his comfort zone as well. He ain't jacking up those logo shots no more. He seems to have cleaned that up. Those heat checks that Quick used to take, he's cleaned that up. So I'm really happy with that. Next up, so yeah, I'll give Quick a B+ for his role tonight. He was super solid. So next up, Deuce, right? 16 minutes. Missed all 4 shots, but 2 assists, 1 turnover, +8, 0 points. Like I said, Deuce McBride played his role, gave us toughness as well, fought, +8. That's an indication, in 16 minutes of what he offers this team. And I want to see him play more. I want to see us develop the rest of this roster and see what we got. Right? It can't hurt us, ladies and gents. Deuce McBride don't hurt you. He could help you. Offensively, he's not going to really take too many shots anyway. Just set the table, move the ball, move the rock, and pull your shorts up on D. Is Deuce McBride, and he gives this team something different that we don't have. Yep. So yeah, I really want to see this moving forward. Yeah. Dirty Dancer says McBride Quick is a good defensive backcourt, even being small. Yep. Completely agree. Yeah. Yep. Deuce has potential to develop into a two-way guard. Quickly is developing into being a two-way guard, and McBride actually has potential to be a two-way guard as well. His offense ain't really broken. He's got a pretty smooth jump shot. He's better in the mid-range. I really just feel like what limits McBride offensively is his burst. He doesn't really have any speed off the burst. Can't get separation. Quick can get separation. But good value selections for where they were selected in terms of what they can be on this team. Complementary, bench pieces as well. Yep. And like I said, the intangibles Deuce brings is that toughness. Quick brings toughness as well. These players aren't soft, and that's what we need. I would have no issue if those two played 20+ minutes every game for the rest of the season. No issues from me whatsoever if those two played 20+ minutes each off the bench, right? You said it. Deuce can make it disruptive, can make people uncomfortable. Yep. Yeah, combo guard. Yeah, but they both need their handles worked on. Pudge says, yeah, completely agree, fam. Yep. The handles got to get better with them. Keeping their dribble alive, probe as well. That's something that Brunson does really well. Rokas does really well in Europe. I've been watching him. He keeps his dribble alive. He patrols the baseline keeps the dribble alive as well. I think the sooner Quick and Deuce develop that, the even craftier they will be as a playmaker as well, those guys. Yeah. But, they bring a clear skill set as well. So I'm happy that the Knicks are developing those guys and they're sending them down to the G League with Deuce, bringing him back up and playing him, right? Let's see whether Derrick Rose's days are numbered or not. It's definitely going to mean an increased role for Deuce, tonight. Today I'll give him a solid B for his role tonight. Deuce McBride, a B. It just goes to show it ain't just about the box score. It ain't just about the stats and the numbers. With that, 16 minutes he stepped up, and that's what you need from a young Nick, to be able to step up when we need. Right, in a 9-man rotation on a back-to-back. Now, Hart, 14 minutes, had one of his better performances tonight, man. He rose up, 4 of 9 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line, 6 offensive boards, ladies and gentlemen. He heard the knocks. Did Hart? 9 boards total, 6 of them offensive. An assist, a turnover, plus 16, team high, 10 points. So think about that. That was a pivotal swing in the game. In Hart's 14 minutes, we was plus 16, 10 points. And he was owning the glass as well, with 6 offensive second chance points from us. Second chance opportunities, 9 rebounds total. So he definitely stood up tonight, right? A man under pressure. Yep. Good question about Rokas, fam. I'll keep an eye on that and I'll give an update. But yeah, the season's super long over there as well. Rokas still coming off the bench in Europe. He's been averaging something like 6 points, 5 assists in like 15 minutes, kind of production. Yeah, I've peeped his last 4 games in Europe. They play a lot of games midweek as well. They play just like the NBA, maybe 3 games a week, 4 games, and sometimes he plays 17 minutes. Sometimes he'll play just 9 minutes. It just depends on the flow of the game. It's very, very different in Europe too, with the way the flow of the game's going. It's very team oriented over there. But Deuce is still Roka's still coming off the bench in Europe as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if they call on him next season. But he's a solid pro right now. He's getting great reps. Yep. Yeah, it was a stash selection. I think that's what the Knicks intended to do, fam. In terms of what Andrizzi says with Keels, that was interesting too. Yeah, that's not looking too good right now. But with Rokas, with Deuce, Rokas, hopefully one of them is a huge part of the future and a keeper. Second round steal. With them. But yeah, I was impressed with Hart tonight. He showed Hart tonight. I mean, how many offensive rebounds? We don't get to see that too often from his main weakness, 6 offensive boards tonight. So that was a huge key for the win tonight. He showed toughness finally on the boards, right? So I'll give him a solid B as well for his game. Now Toppin, 13 minutes tonight, missed all 3 of his threes as well. There were some ugly misses. 4 boards, 2 assists, a foul, plus 13, 5 points as well. So, look, nobody on the bench hurt us tonight. They were all in the huge positive. Only 5 points tonight, but 13 minutes, 7 field goal attempts. He missed a few. Wasn't efficient tonight. But, Obi gave that effort. His defense is is all about effort. Really, he's not a talented defender, but it's about the effort and an IQ positioning, being smart with this situation. Now, with that, I like the 4 rebounds in 13 minutes. You want to see Obi work on his weakness. Also, love the fact that he was aggressive as well. He was trying to get to the paint. He wasn't just jump shooting tonight. He had 2 assists as well. So Obi takes what the defense usually gives him. He doesn't try to go 1v1 too often and try to hurt you. If anything, he plays under control a little bit too much at times. But he's got that green light. He doesn't hesitate to shoot, which is great to see that from his confidence, from IQ. You know, you need these young players confident enough to continue to shoot it. You know, tonight, the story has been, you know, Obi's shooting early on was hot. It's definitely regressed and come back down to the average, but he's still solid in terms of, you know, big men on this team and shooters. Obi's still definitely someone who can get hot from time to time, you know, and he's still somebody you got to respect, you know, when shooting the shot. What does seem to happen though is when he misses, you know, you see some really ugly misses. I'm talking air balls, you know, side of the backboard kind of thing as well. So I think he does shoot a little bit too quick from what I've seen with Obi. He just needs to get his feet set and be more composed. Be a little bit more composed when he shoots it as well as the wrist action. Sometimes he just lets it fly, flings it so quick as well. But yeah, I'll give Toppin a C+. I'll give Toppin a C+ for tonight, or a C. Didn't hurt us at all. It was in the positive. Yeah, I'll keep him as a C+ because he was plus 13. He was grinding it out, ladies and gentlemen. So let's flick ahead to the road ahead now that we've done this. Yep. The Knicks picked up this huge win in the nick of time, basically, given what's been swirling over the last week. And what's fascinating is, you know, you guys all heard the story today with Trae Young, the Atlanta Hawks. News that Nate McMillan and Trae Young have been clashing. So that's going to be interesting. Them coming into MSG, right? Trae Young, one of his favorite arenas coming in, right? Do we see more Deuce McBride? Ladies and gentlemen, Trae Young coming in off this talk that stuff's going on in Atlanta. He's fired up, and we're going to need our best defenders out there as well to keep this feel-good win going. You know, keep these good vibes flowing with this situation. Quentin Grimes playing 40 minutes was a huge story from tonight's game as well. The most minutes on the team. So Tom Thibodeau prioritizing stops right now, prioritizing defense. You know, got to stop the bleeding from what we've seen. Yeah, there's also the chance Young might not play. That'd be an even bigger story if that happens. You know, it was kind of a bit of a sanction, not quite a suspension or a sanction, but I think Nate McMillan wasn't happy with how Trae Young was rehabbing. I feel like, fam, that could be a huge factor. Yeah, the organization basically said they would like him to be more a more positive figure for the franchise. So it's going to be crazy. What do I take that? I think Trae Young's, he does certainly act up a bit. You know, I think his antics on the court, off court, the whinging, whining, the celebrations, all of those kind of things are a key part of that. I think, and also you never underestimate the fact that Atlanta haven't won yet. You know, winning does cure all. Atlanta haven't won anything yet, so their franchise is spending money, and they're going to get a little bit impatient eventually. You know, if they're not winning. Not putting all of that at the feet of Trae Young, but he is their franchise guy. You know, he is the face. Yeah. Dirty says, yeah, we are lucky Obi can become Larry Nance type, a big athlete who can shoot and hold his own on D. Yep. And I'd love to see Obi just be more aggressive too, fam. Not get too comfortable jump shooting, just rim run, play make, and all of that. Yeah, be that live body. The cuts tonight were really impressive too. The cutting, the backdoor lob threats as well. The Deuce McBride to Obi lob was just absolutely beautiful to see, right? That was a beautiful play. And Drizzy also says that it looks like Trey's going to play in the next game. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect Trey to miss the Garden performance, right? Especially for a franchise under immense pressure right now. They're kind of not underachieving, but they're not really achieving what they obviously set out to be. DeJounte Murray, Trey Young, they're 13 and 10, I think. What everyone's doing is underestimating the East right now, ladies and gents. It's crazy, the East right now. A lot of teams doing really well. Toronto solid. Teams that underperformed early are starting to come better now as well. So the Knicks are definitely still in the thick of it. If we play to our strengths, like we saw tonight, don't just try to outscore teams, but realize that it's all about getting stops and all about making the other team uncomfortable. And that's what we've been crying out for, for so long now. Just avoid these teams coming into the Garden feeling good about themselves, getting into a rhythm and putting up career highs. I don't want to see that anymore, Now, we always play tough on the road. Well, we don't really get many teams blow us out on the road now. We're road warriors. So it's all about home court now. So the Atlanta game, right? What do I predict with that coming up? Well, it's definitely the last of, not disrespecting the following teams, but this ATL game is going to really give us a mini launching pad to a potential good stretch. So when I say that, it's probably the last of this tougher stretch of teams coming in. So if we can take care of that, we go back to one game under 500. Then we at Charlotte, back home against Sacktown. And then we have a home and home, an away home and home in Chi-Town as well. So, and then we go to Indy, which is going to be fairly tough as well. So, things are opening up. We've weathered, we're trying to weather a storm right now with some tough games. Tonight's win was absolutely clutch in terms of not going 4 games under 500, and Tom Thibodeau probably would have been let go with another loss or two. Let's say we lost Cleveland and we lost Atlanta, we'd be 5 games under 500, right? James Dolan's phone would be buzzing. But what do? We go back to 2 games under 500. We've got a critical game against ATL coming in now with their own turmoil going down. So what I want to see is another tough performance, Deuce McBride play 15, 20 minutes again. Look out for the D-Rose, Cam Reddish, DNP again, quite possibly, as maybe some talks are going down. Quentin Grimes starting to get into a feel for his minutes, increasing. Well, as the starting New York Knicks shooting guard. Remember, he's going to have that performance when the shot just starts to fall for Quentin Grimes. He hasn't had that performance yet where he shot 5 of 5 from 3-point land. And that's coming. Eventually, that's going to come. His shot's too good for that not to happen. He can shoot the lights out. One thing I noticed with Grimes as well, not that I'm no shooting expert, but he does rise up and let it fly really quick as well. Sometimes I feel like Grimes could just take half a sec before he shoots it as well on the catch and shoot. Maybe that's just that, anticipation of wanting that bigger role, feeling, getting his feel for the bigger minutes. maybe, or finding his comfort zone. Maybe all of that's a factor, and that's going to come eventually. But yeah, I feel like Quentin Grimes is just rushing it a little bit on the jump shot, but he's too good of a shooter not to have a great shooting night soon, especially when he's getting 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, a night. Q Dot's going to, I really feel like he's going to start shooting hot soon. He's got the confidence now. He's got the green light. He's the starting 2 guard. And let's see what happens with Cam, ladies and gentlemen. With Cam, I know he had a few bad performances. I don't really feel like he's being, left out or ostracized because of a few bad performances. I think this is something bigger than that. Whether some talks have been had, kind of thing, because Cam Reddish had been helping the Knicks. Up until recently, he'd been helping and playing a nice role. So it doesn't make no sense for him to just be out of the rotation just like that. There's got to be something bigger with that. Yeah, and Drizzy says Knicks usually play good against the Hawks too, regular season stuff. Yeah. Yep, salute, fam. Yep, definitely. We goes way back. We know that. Julius Randle want to have a good game against Atlanta. RJ Barrett has had some of his career highlights against Atlanta, his first taste of the playoffs, and that huge jam on Bogdanovich. So RJ Barrett will be fired up. Maybe this win fires them up. Maybe we get gritty, we start to focus defensively, and we go on a mini run. Now, we need to focus on the defensive side of things. With a healthy Mitch, healthy Grimes, and other guys that give effort, we can be decent, defensively. Jalen Brunson gives it his all. He tries as well. Flacco says, yeah, James Dolan eventually going to put pressure. Yep, let's see how the season unfolds, fam. This is why we ride it out. And certainly Tom Thibodeau is under the more pressure, I feel. But Leon Rose is going to have to keep the confidence of the owner. That's for sure, right? That's why I really feel like some moves are going to come sooner. I've been on this from day one, ladies and gents. I said this roster wasn't the one that's going to finish. I said that in the summer, in the preseason. And just the last show, I said Leon Rose is a mover and shaker. He hasn't missed the trade deadline without making a move. It was Rose, it was Cam, and all of those moves were early. They didn't come at the deadline. They came well before the deadline as well. So keep an eye out for that. And Drizzy says, CT, would you be upset if Thibs benched McBride again and puts Rose in? Because I'm thinking they didn't want to run Rose into the ground, right, playing into a back-to-back. I would be a little upset. Yeah, I would understand. Obviously, Rose is ahead of him on the pecking order. As long as Deuce keeps getting burned, I'm happy with that. He's under contract still. I've got to check his contract situation. But we've got time with Deuce still. He's getting run in the G League as well. But I would be a bit upset, fam, to keep it honest with you. I feel like Deuce gives us more defensively. We don't really need Derrick Rose's offense anymore. Derrick Rose's best attribute to this team is being a mentor now, being a solid locker room veteran mentor. If you look at it, D Rose doesn't really have it going offensively no more, and we're fine offensively with Quick off the bench and Obi scoring, Hartenstein scoring a bit off the bench as well. So I really feel like this team is lacking something defensively, the toughness that Deuce McBride brings, a perimeter defense as well. It's a lead guard league. You have to make the other team's lead guards feel uncomfortable. The moment you sag off, your swag's off, and you need to make the other guard uncomfortable, be in his shorts, make him overthink it as well. A guy like Deuce McBride does that. And Flacco says Brunson and Grimes could be a good backcourt as long as Thibs is the coach. That's not going to happen. That's not gonna. With that situation, yeah, Grimes is starting to feel, get into a feel. Brunson's been absolutely fantastic, been spectacular this season, worth every penny. For that, watch this space. I really feel like Brunson will be an all-star consideration if we're around the 9th, 8th, 7th seed. Brunson will get all-star consideration this season. We're not that far to go. We're 24 games in, so we got about another like 16 games. Not about another 20 games. I think the all-star breaks after the halfway mark. With that, injuries is hopefully, but RJ and Julius need to be held accountable on the defensive end. Yep, facts, big facts, right? Everybody, right, from top to bottom, needs to be held accountable, fam. Everybody, because they've shown they can do it. They've shown that they can produce defensively like tonight. So the pressure is on for them to do it more often, do it more on the regular with that. And I do like the culling of this rotation. A lot of dudes that aren't being used right now or are trying to fit into a particular picture and they don't quite fit. For me, moving forward, Derrick Rose, for where this organization's going, his fit's very unclear. On the court, off the court, I know he brings a calming nature, mentorship, all of that good stuff as well. The contract's expiring, so it ain't a bad deal for us right now. I guess it's going to come down to what does another team give us for D Rose, what do you guys think could be had for D Rose? A couple seconds, maybe another young player, maybe another team that's trying to win now is willing to sacrifice a young player with potential to get D Rose in. Hell, a late first round pick, even, could a desperate team give up a late first for Rose? I'm sure a team like Miami, ladies and gents, don't discount Miami. They're movers and shakers as well. They don't sit still. They're underachieving. Chi-Town's finest, D Rose, could they look to him to bring a spark to their life, their season? I know Bulls fans, what a great ending to D Rose's career if he was potentially to end his career with Chicago. That bears watching. I think I got to look at their rotation right now, see who's the backup guard. Ayo Dosunmu, and also I know they got Caruso as well. Lonzo Ball's been injured all season long. And Drizzy says hopefully a young wing and a second rounder. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I root for and I support every Knicks that's currently on the team, but you can't forget this is a business. You got to look at what is a player's purpose on the team, and you got to weigh up before his contract ends. Could we try to get something back for that? That's going to help us in the future as well. That's why I really feel like where we're at with the Cam Reddish situation now, pivoting to Cam Reddish, I really feel like that's to do with his contract coming to an end. His trade value is probably at the highest it's ever been because, up until very recently, Cam Reddish has been playing the best kind of ball for his career, I think. And other teams would have been paying attention, to that. So I really feel like maybe the front office is gauging what they can see, what they can get for Cam Reddish, seeing who's out there, seeing who's interested as well. We got Quentin Grimes fully healthy. Maybe they realize they can't trade Evan Fournier and they want to get him back off the bench. Maybe they want to play Deuce McBride more. They signed, they let go of Ferron Hunt, and they signed Daquan Jeffries as well. So that's interesting. But yeah, ultimately it's about assets, asset management. I really feel like this could be a Brock Aller, thought, a Brock Aller project for that situation, to see what he can get. Pushing Leon to maybe try to sell off some of these pieces before it's too late. Trying to look ahead for the future with this situation, and give these young players more development. Andrizzi says Kobe White. Yep, he's a player on the outer as well for Chicago. With that situation, yep, we could maybe resurrect some career out of Kobe White. Yep, yeah, it's going to be fascinating, fam. Also, another while we're talking about the road ahead, before we end, I want to hit on this. We're only like 20 games away from this deadline, right? What is awaiting a lot of teams is a huge decision. Do we become a buyer or do we become a seller? Right. We know how crazy this draft is. Look at all these teams kind of in no man's land. Chicago, Charlotte, these teams out west as well. So a lot of these teams are going to have to make a really tough decision. And I really feel like there's going to be a lot of teams selling parts this season when they realize that they ain't it. They're going to become sellers with this situation. And there might be a few teams that are buyers as well. That surprise me. That surprise us as well. Maybe some teams just feel like they're missing a piece. To get up the standings. A lot of the standings is bunched up, ladies and gentlemen. On the east and the west side, there's a lot of teams bunched up. And we've seen teams in seasons where a piece can catapult a team up the standings. When the team's got like a PJ Tucker, a guy that fits a need, a defensive specialist, a wing, a shooter. We know Grayson Allen's name's out there. The Milwaukee Bucks is trying to make moves. I think they're going to be interested in Derrick Rose, 100%. I think there's been some early talks that Milwaukee would be interested in Derrick Rose. Could the Knicks use a guy like Grayson Allen? Possibly off the bench, some shooting. Yep. And Drizzy says the Kings, desperate to make playoffs, absolutely, and also Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, Minnesota Timberwolves. Talk about going all in. They pushed all their chips in the middle of the table and some. They cannot come up short. They cannot fall up short, can the Minnesota Timberwolves this season. Otherwise, they'll be an embarrassment, a laughing stock right now. The fit between Gobert and Cat is looking suspect right now. So, talking about feeding into teams with desperation, Minnesota Timberwolves are one, LA's one, Miami's one, the Kings are one as well. Heck, the Dallas Mavericks are one. That's why we saw reports that they're interested in Derrick Rose. Just because they beat us last night don't mean nothing. Yesterday, they don't mean nothing. They're still struggling. Best believe Luka and a bunch of ragtag role players that may have had our number the other day, but they're not going to do nothing unless they make an upgrade. Luka playing 43 minutes with Tim Hardaway, Dinwiddie, and other guys. That's not enough in the West. They ain't fooling nobody with that. That's why they're talking about Derrick Rose. They're bringing in Kemba Walker, a guy whose knees are worse than what they were. Right, ladies and gents. The GM went on record to say that Kemba's knees are worse than what they were, but they still signed him. That's how desperate they are for some playmaking, right? So Yeah, this Derrick Rose thing could be legit. Yeah, facts, right? And Drizzy, yeah. Dallas love the Mavericks, the scraps. Yep. I'll tell you what, if they want to give us Dorian Finney-Smith, I don't know if they'd be willing to part with him for Cam, maybe Cam and Rose. We can get a wing like Dorian Finney-Smith. That'd be something to consider. I don't know what future draft capital they've got up their sleeve that they can trade. Maybe Leon ain't interested in taking any piece back. Maybe Leon just wants a pick. They could just give us a future pick for that situation. Yeah, we know the teams that are going backwards, like the Spurs. They're happy to lose right now. Houston's happy to lose. Orlando and Detroit's happy to lose. So put the connect the dots. Keep your eye on the Miamis, the Minnesotas, the Dallases, the Lakers. Yeah, the Mavericks, like I said. Maybe some other middling East teams as well. Maybe Washington, Toronto, Chicago as well. Yeah, those are the teams in between that need a kick, need a punch to climb the standings as well. Heck, maybe even ATL. I'll put ATL in there as well because Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, they're underachieving. They're trying to sell John Collins as well. There's some clunky fit, with that situation. They feel like they're underachieving. Yep. Yeah, and Drizzy likes that idea as well. Finney-Smith, yeah, is a good defender. Yep. Reggie Bullock is a name to look out for as well. You hit. I think Tom Thibodeau's always wanted Reggie back, ladies and gents. So, yeah, keep an eye on that. Yeah, keep an eye on it. I think that's a situation that is going to be discussed. The Dallas and the Knicks love making moves, and there's history there as well. Look at the teams that there's some history with, in terms of making trades. I mentioned Minnesota. We know Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau was former coach and in their front office as well. There's connections there. The Knicks make trades with Detroit, Orlando, because there's Scott Perry ties as well. I don't know what kind of pieces the Knicks are looking for. Orlando, I don't know if they've sold Terrence Ross. Is Terrence Ross still on Orlando? Maybe they'll be happy to take back Evan Fournier's contract. Who knows? But yeah, I'm looking for these teams that the Knicks have, relationships with and have done moves with in the past as well. So just to recap the road ahead. So Atlanta, I'm predicting that we win. Yep, I'm just going to go and say that we win. We beat Atlanta. Why not? They got some struggles going on there, and this win's going to give us a bit more, a bit of a boost, some clarity on a better rotation, a tight rotation as well. People knowing their roles a bit more. Everything's a bit more defined with the shorter rotation. And then at Charlotte, who are struggling, Charlotte and Sacktown, I'll say that we'll probably split. We'll probably split those two. Chicago, I'll go out and say that we split those two as well. So we beat Atlanta and we split Charlotte Sack and we split Chicago. So where does that take us? That keeps us at one game below 500. Yep, just one game below 500 as we go into Indy. Yep, we hit Indy with that situation. So I think we'll hover around where we're at. But let's see what happens, ladies and gents. I think more moves are on the horizon as well. This win has bought Tom Thibodeau maybe a bit of time. Let's see. Let's see if he's made these adjustments and he's going to stick with them, right? But yeah, as always, Thanks for rocking out. The streets are certainly buzzing. The chat's buzzing. Smash that like button. Best chat in the biz. Let's get it. Yeah, we'll continue to talk about it. We'll chop this thing up. Yeah, big game against ATL, really. That's going to give us this opportunity to really create a nice boost. But I'm looking for the boost to be from the back of these young players, and toughness, more toughness, defensive-minded play. Offensively, we've been fine. Yep. So, salute to Knicks Nation. Salute to Replay Gang. Peace